Hello students, are you ready for today's class? Which chapter are we going to do? An Astrologer's Day. Which class are you all in? Class 9, very good. What's your subject? English Literature. Can you tell me the name of the chapter? 9. Which video is this that we are going to discuss today? Part 4. So you are with me. Let's go ahead. Recap. What did we do so far? An astrologer reported punctually at midday to his usual place under a tamarind tree that flanked a path in the town hall park. He spread out his equipments. Can you tell me the equipments? Very good. Palmyra writing, cowrie shells, yes, notebook, mystic charts. Anything else? Very good. So these were, he had a cloth also, square piece of cloth. Excellent. He started his day's work. He was dressed in his usual attire. Quick, somebody. What did he have on his forehead? Sacred ash with a resplendent vermilion. Excellent. What did he wear round his head? Turban. What was the color of the turban? Orange. What else did he have that made his eyes look very sharp? Whiskers. From where did the whiskers start? They were streaming down his cheeks. Very good, children. So the place where he transacted business was a crowded place representing medicine sellers, stolen hardware, junk. People had stolen things, no? Everything was brought there to be sold. There was an auctioneer who was trying to sell cheap cloth and a groundnut vendor. There were no lights there. There was no municipal lighting. Gas lights were used. And how was the astrologer? He was not an astrologer by study. He had not done something to become an astrologer. He just went into this line, correct? So, actually he knew nothing about the stars, nor the planets, nor their influence on human affairs. It was just that he started it out, and what happened? He was an excellent listener. He listened to his clients very well and did not open his mouth till they told everything to him. So he got out maximum information from them, and then he used this as a method of understanding, studying, practicing, and sharp, very shrewd he was to get to the base of their problems and give them solutions. So he earned a good wage at the end of the day, and he was happy because even though he had not studied, he worked hard to tell the clients who came to him, give them proper answers to their queries. Let's continue with the lesson. We are on paragraph 2. He had left his village without any previous thought or plan. If he had continued there, he would have carried on the work of his forefathers, namely tilling the land, living, marrying, and ripening in his cornfield and ancestral home. But that was not to be. So when he left his home in the village and he came out, he did not come with the plan that he is going to become an astrologer. So if he had remained there only, like his ancestral parents, that is like his grandfather, his great-grandfather, father, he would have tilled the land, plowed the land, sowed the seeds, got crops there. Then he would have married, settled over there, and continued his life, and even at the end of his life, he would have been in that ancestral home. But that was not what happened. He came out. He had to leave home without telling anyone, and he could not rest till he left it behind a couple of 100 miles. That means what had he done? He had run away from home. When do you run away, children? Yes, when you do something wrong and you don't want to be caught or punished for it. That is why even if he left his house and came out maybe even a few kilometers, he was not happy. He wanted to come out a couple of 100 miles. That means he wanted to be really out of the place. To a villager, it was a great deal, as if an ocean flowed between. For a villager to cross that much boundary and come was as if he was crossing an ocean. He had a working analysis of mankind's troubles. He had a working analysis. He was able to analyze the mind of human beings. Okay? Their troubles, their marriage, money, and the tangles of humanity. And what do we go to an astrologer for? Problem in the marriage, problem for childbirth or something, problems related to money or ill health. So these are the 4 or 5 aspects we go to him for. So he knew he used to analyze. Analyze means think deeply about it and see how these can be corrected. Long practice had sharpened his perception. So long practice, continuously analyzing why somebody is not happy, what is the cause of his not being happy, how can that cause be removed, things like that. When he used to go on thinking, it sharpened his intellect and his perception, his viewing capacity. Within 5 minutes, he understood what was wrong. So as soon as a person started speaking, is that clear? Just within 5 minutes, he understood what was wrong. He charged 3 paise per question. Never opened his mouth till the other had spoken for at least 10 minutes. So once he saw their hands and they were telling something, that's why I said he was a good listener. I made a comment somewhere, isn't it? So he just listened to them and did not open his mouth for the first 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes, which provided him enough stuff for a dozen answers and advices. So they were continuously pouring out their heart to him. They would tell him everything. He would listen to everything clearly, absorb everything, and be ready to answer their questions. Perception, awareness, and comprehension. When he told the person before him, gazing at his palm, in many ways you are not getting the results of your efforts. 9 out of 10 were disposed to agree with him. So when everybody showed him his hands and he was trying to tell them something, he would tell them, see, you are trying your level best, but I know 10 things if you are doing, 9 also doesn't give. In many ways, you are not getting results for your efforts. 9 out of 10 were disposed to agree with him. Disposed were not ready to agree with him. Or he questioned, is there any woman in your family, maybe even a distant relative, who is not well disposed towards you? Means, is there anyone in your family, is there any woman in your family who is unhappy or, she's not happy with your behavior or things like that? Or he gave an analysis of character. Most of your troubles are due to your nature and a rough exterior. You may be a very nice person inside, but how do you look on the outside? Exterior means on the outside. Too strict. It looks as if you have no heart. This endeared him to their hearts immediately. So when he analyzed in these ways, all these people took to him very easily. For even the mildest of us loves to think that he has a forbidding exterior. So every one of us likes to think, see, I'm not what I'm outside. I'm inside, I'm a different person. Isn't it? I may look very, very harsh. I may be a strict disciplinarian, but inside I might be something very, very soft. So everybody liked to hear that. So This is what he used to tell them. Disposed means set out, arranged. Analysis is interpretation of breakdown. And endeared is loved or liked. Forbidding, preventing. So, your goodness is really there, but the goodness doesn't come out because of your hard exterior. You're very, very stern outside. The nuts vendor blew out his flare and rose to go home. This was a signal for the astrologer to bundle up too, since it left him in darkness, except a little shaft of green light which strayed in from somewhere and touched the ground before him. So now the nuts vendor was slowly, he blew out the flare. Blew out the flare means put off the fire. And he was rising to go back home. This was a signal for the astrologer to bundle up to mean to pick up all his equipments, put them into his bag, because as soon as he left, there will be darkness everywhere because the fire was put out. There was only one place from where, from a little green light would just come in. Strayed in means peeped in sort of and touched the ground before him. So it was a signal for him to get up. Blew out his flare, put out the fire. Strayed in means came in. Have you all understood? He picked up his cowrie shells and paraphernalia and was putting them into his bag when the green shaft of light blotted out. So now he started packing his things. Paraphernalia means all his belongings, putting everything into the bag. When suddenly he felt that the green light, shaft of light, some light that was coming in was blotted out, was stopped, prevented from coming. He looked up and saw a man standing before him. What did he see? He saw one man standing before him. He sensed. Sensed means a feeling which is inside, not you didn't touch anything. You can feel somebody standing behind you, isn't it? So he sensed a possible client and said, "You look so careworn." Careworn? Not cared for. So haggard, such a haggard look you have. It will do you good to sit down for a while and chat with me. So he tells that person, it'll be nice. You're looking so worked up or tired. Why don't you sit down and chat with me? Paraphernalia, belongings or equipments. Blotted out, smudge or disfigure. So summarize the story so far. The astrologer's past life, his clients and his predictions, fees or charges he collected, his new client, and the end of the day. Questions. Answer the following in your notebooks. Describe the past life of the astrologer. Was he a good listener? Did it help him? What happened as he planned to leave? Describe the last client. Give the meanings for the following words: blotted out, strayed in, endeared, perception, paraphernalia.